What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel today. And this video in particular is definitely one you're not going to want to miss. Here at Studio Sense, I definitely talk quite a bit about discontinued fragrances simply because it's kind of a semi-passion of mine. Not just owning rare or discontinued fragrances, ones that are often pretty hard to find, but I really try to stay on top of what's disappearing, what's slowly disappearing, what the buzz is, what fragrances are being talked about that may disappear, and ones that are definitely off the docket in terms of manufacturing. Videos like today excite me because this is probably not new news to you, so none of these fragrances that I'm talking about are going to be like surprises, like, oh, I didn't know that was discontinued. Maybe if it is, fine, but hopefully none of these will catch you by surprise. So after this brief intro, I'm going to showcase 5 cheap discontinued gems that you can actually still get. Ones that are readily available, at least at a few discounters. As I always do, I'll include the links below so that you don't have to waste any time. You can go straight to the link. If you don't even want to watch the video and you want to go straight to the links and check them out, you can do that too. But the hope is that you'll stick around to see what I have to say about these 5 unique designer fragrances, what I call gems that are no longer being manufactured. That and more is coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Whether you're in your car traveling or listening to this through a Bluetooth speaker or just watching it at home, wherever you are, hopefully you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit, let the day's concerns and worries kind of drain away, and talk about one of our, hopefully, yours and my favorite subjects, discontinued fragrances. The buzz around discontinued fragrances will decrease or increase depending upon the popularity of the fragrance, and oftentimes depending upon how long it's been discontinued or how rare it is, how hard to find. These fragrances that we're talking about today have been historically pretty hard to find. So let's jump into this, not waste any more time, just in case you want to run quickly and grab them. And I suggest to run and not walk because these are excellent fragrances. The first designer fragrance gem that is really cheap, that's been discontinued and is still cheap. Thankfully, you're not going to have to worry about Amazon or eBay prices yet for this fragrance. Was actually kind of a surprise because it's one of my favorites for especially cooler weather. It is Kenneth Cole Signature. Presentation is great. Magnetic lid is always a plus, kind of a bonus when it comes to the presentation. It's just really cool. And I do enjoy the very thick, heavy bottle, see-through, and the juice looks a little bit like whiskey or a fine brandy or cognac, and it actually sprays on very similarly. I'm actually going to wear this today. I just got out of the shower. I don't have anything on, kind of unusual for me. What makes this such a great cool weather fragrance? I'm going to set it aside now. It opens with grapefruit, cardamom, pimento, and violet. Unusual open, little bit of spice going on in the open there. But what I love about this fragrance, you immediately get the sense of a very rich wood mingled with a very nice, light, almost roasted coffee note. It's actually a very pleasant combination of an espresso note and orris root, similar to iris, often called orris butter, but it's the root of the iris. There's some marine notes in Signature, water lily. There's amber, guaiac wood, papyrus, and patchouli in the base. And what I really like about Signature is just like the name. If you're looking for a fragrance that you want to be great for all seasons, all weather, all wear, something that you can even wear to the office, it's office friendly. I would say moderate or average projection, moderate to average longevity. This is the fragrance you're looking for. It pretty much ticks all the boxes when it comes to a signature scent. And that is exactly what Kenneth Cole was trying to go for. Unfortunately discontinued, but you can get a 100 ml bottle of this fine fragrance for under $40 right now at fragrancenet.com. Kenneth Cole Signature. The next fragrance is discontinued, but you can still get, at least right now, is a fragrance by Calvin Klein. And for you lovers of sweet fragrances that are gourmand and slightly boozy, you'll really enjoy Calvin Klein Reveal. Reveal is one of those not often talked about gems. It's kind of a dark horse fragrance. When you use it, you're like, this might be too sweet. I often have the idea when I first smell this that, wow, that's almost like an overly sweet fragrance. But that dank sweetness, as pungent and heavy as it is up front, does definitely dial back over time, and not a lot of time. Give it about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. After that first 30, 40 minutes, it is perfect where it finally rests, is not overly sweet, but a very lightly boozy, fruity, gourmand fragrance. Extremely captivating. Reveal definitely has a sexy date night quality that many will appreciate. It opens with a pear brandy. There's candied ginger, there's Kawano and mastic. Kawano or Kawano melon is also in Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme, so if you've ever smelled that, this carries that kind of light fruity melony open in the open. There's agave, clary sage, and suede. There's also Haitian vetiver or pure, an aroma chemical, gives it the dry elegance that typically is modified by the vetiver in the base. And of course, that most notably necessary note that is in pretty much all of the great gourmand fragrances out there is tonka bean. Overall, Reveal is a very sexy masculine fragrance that is unusual for the house of Calvin Klein to have mastered, and I feel like they've mastered it in this fragrance for a designer fragrance. Extremely inexpensive still. This fragrance is going to be kind of hard to find and rather expensive, so before that happens, make sure to grab a bottle of Calvin Klein Reveal. Perfumer Alberto Maria is well known for creating wonderful fragrances for men, and most notably for Salvatore Ferragamo. This fragrance in the blue genre of fragrances is no exception. It's such a fine fragrance, and unfortunately discontinued. It is from the Essential line. It is Aqua Essential Blue. One of my favorite overall, just super versatile blue fragrances. This is one that's even enjoyable to wear in colder weather right after a shower. Throw this on. It's got really good staying power. Does a fantastic job of wearing two hats. It kind of splits it down the middle between an aquatic fragrance and just your standard blue. It's a really pleasant and creative blend of the two. It opens with a fresh, fruity green cardamom. There's bergamot, there's lemon. There's an aroma chemical called paradisone that gives it an aquatic feel straight out of the atomizer. You've also got cascalone, another one that does very similar. There's Atlas cedar, cypriol, and lavender. There's benzoin, there's ambroxan or ambroxide, there's tonka bean, and patchouli. If you're looking for an aquatic fragrance and a blue fragrance, something that's going to be similar to, say, Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profumo or Profondo, for whatever reason can't get your hands on that, or you're looking for something that's like that but it's just like a derivation. It's an aquatic and it's a blue fragrance, combines the two. If you are a fan of Bleu de Chanel, you'll really enjoy Aqua Essential Blue. I wish it wasn't discontinued because it's such a good front runner for a blue fragrance in terms of inexpensive, cheapy, for a gem of a fragrance, but there are still some available. Used to be able to find them at rack stores all the time. Now it's getting a little bit harder to find, so grab you one up if you haven't got one already. Aqua Essential Blue by Salvatore Ferragamo. This next cheapy gem came out in 2006, several years, was discontinued. Probably the cheapest fragrance, at least it's in there, but the top 5 or top 10 cheapest fragrances for designer fragrances that you'll ever find. That's still very pleasant to wear. It is a Liz Claiborne fragrance for men called Lucky No. 6. This is actually a really pleasant, sexy, masculine fragrance that's, again, often easy to forget about. It is an odd kind of presentation. It's got a whole kind of Asian aesthetic. Kind of has that overall Yop Homme thematic style to it in terms of the aroma, but much more pleasant. It's fresh, it's aquatic, it's green, it's got a little bit of suede for texture. There's pineapple, there's plum. It's kind of a neo-retro, fruity, sexy, nighttime wear fragrance for men. There's ginger, lily, nutmeg, cashmere, tonka bean, amber, amberwood, and there's patchouli and cedar as well. So it sounds like, at least the formula, the remnants of the formula sound similar to most men's fragrance. The way the notes are blended and combined in this scent, they've created something that's pretty original, and I don't know of any other fragrance that has mimicked the overall scent profile or aroma of Lucky No. 6. You should really do yourself a solid and try it if you haven't tried it out. You can get a 100 ml bottle for less than 20 bucks. I would recommend for anyone that's even just either starting out on their fragrance journey or been on the journey for a very long time and just looking for something a little bit different that has kind of an ode to the early 2000s, but also has a bit of a classic, sexy, overall, darker, nighttime drive to it. That's what Lucky No. 6 is. For whatever reason, they discontinued it, but you can still get it, and I have linked it below, just like all of the others if you want to check it out. This one is a no-brainer, quick grab, easy reach. There's no reason not to own Lucky No. 6. Last of the 5 discontinued fragrances that I'm showcasing today is one that is, again, definitely unfortunate that they are no longer producing it because a very strong frontrunner in the Bulgari Aqua line. Bulgari's cleaning house. They're just getting rid of a lot of stuff to hopefully give us some new stuff, something that's very creative, something that's very wearable, and some hopefully future classics. This one is definitely an aquatic classic, not only in presentation because it's the Pebble presentation, the Aqua line, but it is Aqua Atlantique, one of the most wearable aquatic fragrances you will ever find. And in fact, this one has a kind of refinement to its deportment that if you're looking for something that's a little bit dressy in the way that, say, a Christian Dior designer fragrance is dressy, whether it's a black tie affair, a regular tie affair, or you just want to change the ambiance of your room, your life, your situation, your scenario, you want to upscale it, this is a great way to go in the aquatic genre. It opens with bergamot and lemon, as all in the line pretty much do. In the heart is ambergris or ambroxan, and that's what gives it its staying power and makes it last, makes it project. Base is where you find vetiver, patchouli, sandalwood, and benzoin, but overall as an aquatic fragrance, that's pretty much what you get. It's a pretty linear, fairly linear aquatic fragrance. In other words, it does what it sets out to do immediately and for a very long time. Fantastic aquatic fragrance. Don't know why it's being discontinued, but it's still available. Now this one, kind of tough to use the word cheap. I'm kind of stretching that a little bit. This one is a bit more expensive, on the expensive side. You can still get it, definitely well worth it, because it's just going to get more and more, you know. Even Aqua Amara is up there over $100 now. This one right beside it in terms of pleasant aroma and performance. Bulgari Aqua Porom Atlantique. That is a wrap for my 5 cheap discontinued fragrances. One of those kind of more expensive than the others, but the others are ridiculously cheap right now. And if you don't own them, I highly suggest that you snatch them up while you can, because you'll be sorry that you didn't one day if you don't already own them. That is, if you like anything about the description, how I described them and talked about them, their smell, their performance, and their overall usage. If you already own these fragrances, let me know which are your favorites, or if there are other cheapy gems out there that have been recently discontinued that I've missed, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much though for stopping by and checking out today's video. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.